I kicked the door open so hard it rattled against the wall. My chest was pounding, my jaw clenched, and my hands were shaking with rage. On the bed was my wife of 6 years, and some shirtless idiot who had the audacity to grin at me like I was the intruder. "You weren't supposed to be home this early," she stammered, sheets clutched around her naked body. I didn't even shout. My voice came out low, dangerous. "Sarah, after everything I gave you, this is how you repay me?" She didn't answer. She just turned her face away, as if the shame was too heavy to carry. And in that moment, my world shattered. My chest burned like someone had lit a fire inside me, but the tears never came. Only one thought repeated in my head like a war drum: she's going to regret this. Sarah didn't beg for forgiveness. She didn't even fight for us. The next morning, she packed her bags, tossed her ring on the kitchen table, and told me flatly, "We're done. I'm happier with him." That sentence sliced deeper than the cheating itself. 6 years of loyalty, 6 years of sacrifice, and she tossed me aside like yesterday's trash. I was left in an empty house, surrounded by the ghosts of our memories. Her perfume still lingered in the bedroom. Her laugh still echoed in my head. But my heart was bleeding out, and no one came to save me. Except her mother. Linda, her mom, had always liked me. She used to joke that I was the son-in-law she never thought she'd deserve. When she heard what Sarah did, she stormed over to my place, cursing her daughter in ways I didn't think a mother ever could. "Philip, listen to me," she said, gripping my hand. "You didn't deserve this. My daughter, she's reckless, spoiled. But you're a good man." At first, it was just comfort. She'd bring food. She'd sit with me in silence. She'd let me vent about the betrayal. But somewhere along the line, comfort turned into connection. One night, after too much wine, she confessed, "You've always been more of a man than her father ever was." The look in her eyes wasn't motherly anymore. It was something else. Something dangerous. It started with a kiss. A single, desperate kiss on a lonely night. The kind that should have been a mistake, but neither of us pulled away. And once that line was crossed, there was no going back. We began seeing each other secretly. At first, I told myself it was wrong, that it was only filling a void. But the more time I spent with Linda, the more I realized something shocking: she truly valued me in ways her daughter never did. She was older, wiser, and she adored me. Not for what I could give, but for who I was. One night, lying in bed beside her, she whispered, "I know you probably think this is crazy, but I love you." And for the first time since Sarah's betrayal, my heart didn't feel like it was drowning. The idea came to me suddenly, but it felt like fate. If Sarah thought she could walk out of my life without consequence, then I was going to make sure the consequences hit her like a thunderclap. 3 months after she left me, I asked Linda to marry me. She gasped, covering her mouth. "Philip, are you serious?" "As serious as the vows will take," I told her. She said yes. Without hesitation. I invited Sarah. Of course I did. I wanted her to see it. She arrived, all smiles, assuming she was just there to support her mom. She didn't even bother to greet me, probably still smug about her new life with her boyfriend. But when Linda walked down the aisle, radiant in her dress, holding my arm, Sarah froze. Her jaw dropped. Her face turned pale. The whispers in the crowd grew louder as realization hit her. "Mom," she shouted. "What the hell is going on?" Linda looked her daughter dead in the eyes and said, "I'm marrying him. Get used to it." The ceremony continued despite Sarah's outburst. Every vow I spoke was a dagger. Every smile at Linda was a hammer driving the nail of humiliation deeper into Sarah's chest. And when the officiant finally said, "I now pronounce you husband and wife," I turned and kissed her mother right in front of her. Sarah stormed out, screaming, but the damage was done. From that moment forward, she wasn't my wife anymore, she was my stepdaughter. The fallout was glorious. Sarah's new boyfriend dumped her within weeks, saying he couldn't handle the drama of dating someone whose ex was now her stepdad. She became the subject of every family gossip circle. At gatherings, she couldn't even look me in the eye without turning red with fury. And I never missed a chance to remind her of her new role. At Thanksgiving, when she tried to snap at me, I calmly said, "Careful, young lady. That's no way to talk to your stepfather." The look on her face. Priceless. She hated every second of it. But me? I thrived. Not only had I gotten my revenge, but I'd found someone who truly loved me. Some people will say I was wrong. That I stooped too low. That revenge like this is toxic. But let me tell you something, when you've been torn apart by betrayal, when you've been left bleeding on the floor while someone walks away laughing, revenge becomes oxygen. It keeps you alive. And marrying Linda wasn't just revenge, it was justice. Sarah took my heart and crushed it. But I took her pride, her ego, her sense of superiority, and shattered it in front of everyone she knew. Now, every time she looks at me, she doesn't see the husband she betrayed. She sees the stepfather she can never escape. And that, my friends, is the sweetest revenge I could have ever asked for. Do I love Linda? Yes. Did it start as revenge? Absolutely. But somewhere along the way, love grew in the ashes of my pain. And Sarah? She's stuck in a living nightmare of her own making. So here's my message to anyone who's been betrayed. Sometimes the best revenge isn't shouting, crying, or fighting. Sometimes, the best revenge is rewriting the role so completely that your betrayer never recovers. My ex-wife thought she left me broken. Instead, I married her mother and made her my stepdaughter. And I sleep just fine at night.